Hi, this is Senator Melisa Franzen with the weekly update. This week I had a couple of bills that were heard in committee, one dealing with the Edina TIF district that was heard in the tax committee, and this bill would allow for using the Southdale TIF district for pooling the funds from there to be used for affordable housing funding in the area, in the vicinity of the TIF district. The bill was laid over for possible inclusion in the omnibus tax bill, so we hope that that could be considered as a tool for investment in affordable housing, workforce housing in our city. Another bill that I was heard was one dealing with the Arts and Culture Heritage Fund and allowing for a look back to review the program and how it's benefiting artists as a legacy amendment appropriate, and allowed for the increasing taxes for the benefit of the environment and the arts in Minnesota since 2008. I'll have a little bit more information about both bills on my newsletter, so please read into it. Other things that happened this week, we had the State of the State with Governor Tim Walz having his first address to the state of Minnesota and talking about how his vision for infrastructure investments and how we should come together as compromise and finding ways to be able to fund our roads and bridges, which is something that has been a big topic of his in his administration and also before in the campaign. He also talked about how we can also really be neighborly and work together side by side to tackle the big issues that impact every individual in our state. So I'm hopeful. It was a great tone, and there was a lot of a good reception from the audience, and I'll have a link on the newsletter of his full remarks. I also had a lot of floor time this week with several bills, a lot related to healthcare actually. One that passed this week was the opioid stewardship bill, the penny a pill sort of a framework to ensure that we have fees. It didn't entirely become penny a pill, but in the end, it's a bill to fund, to have a fee on producer and manufacturers of opioids to fund all the dangers and the damages done in our communities with opioid addiction and people who have been affected and families that have lost loved ones. It was pretty inspirational in a way. I sit next to Senator Chris Eaton, whose daughter Ariel passed away, and this would have been her 35th birthday, the day of the bill passage. So it was a pretty emotional testimony on the floor. We also passed other bills dealing with healthcare, PBM licensure, which is the drug manufacturers work really closely with benefit managers for drugs and set prices for drugs. So we're trying to license and bring transparency into the industry, as many times there's rebates and a lot of things that happen behind the scene that end up increasing costs for healthcare. We want to make sure that that's not the case and that people have the information they need before they buy prescription drugs at their local pharmacy stores. And we also had other related bills. One was on epinephrine to protect Good Samaritans for those people who are using EpiPens to save someone's life. That was another bill that passed this week. And so many others that we are tackling, and I'll have a full list on the newsletter. Finally, we have the third deadline coming next week, so next week will be on a lot of committee time to hear all these big packages of bills for each area of jurisdiction, including taxes that I'm on, and Health and Human Services is another committee, and transportation. So we expect to mark up those bills. We did hear one version of the tax, Governor Walz's tax transportation proposal, which deals with the gas tax, and we'll have information about that as well in the newsletter. But I expect a very different bill to be marked up next week, and I'll keep you posted with all that. Thank you, and as you know, you can always reach me by email or phone call, and my cell phone 612-968-4566 if you need me right away. Thank you.